Hi and welcome to this movie. It's a short recap of the RFactor 2 competition system race at Monza on Sunday night, 28th of April. Thought I'd do a quick recap. It was a fun race, very eventful. There was only one split, but we had 20 cars in the same split. I'm running the Porsche 911 RSR. I just like the Porsche. It's not always the quickest, but it's a bit of a challenge to set it up, and it's got a lot of character and it feels very real. So I enjoy all of that stuff. And so I'm in the 911. I dipped down into the low 49s, 149.2 in quali, but that only netted me 14th place. The guy on pole, I think his name was Taylor. He was a monster. He got into the 46s, and I just don't know how they do that. I run the medium tyre in quali because I'm quicker on that tyre. My second lap is always my quicker lap because it takes a while to warm them up, but I just can't get enough done on the soft tyre. We'll pick it up here at the very end of the formation lap where the safety car is about to pull into pit lane, and Mr. Taylor will lead the entire grid down the long pit straight at Monza into the first Variante. Always very trepidatious about mass car starts at Monza. It really is a big pinch point down to the first chicane or the Premier Variante. But this, in fact, as you'll see, was a very, very clean start. A lot of respect was shown. People took notice of their braking marking points rather than just watching the car in front as a cue for braking. Always better to choose a stationary braking point than a mobile one. And you'll see nearly everybody gets around unscathed. One gentleman there you'll see spin out on the exit of Variante. If we have a close look at that now, you'll see that was a bit of an own goal there. That was a single car incident. Nobody assisted him into that spin. But the good news was he could rejoin with a car in one piece. We're still here in lap one, and you'll see an incredibly bold move down the inside there at the entry to the second Variante by that red and white liveried BMW. Didn't work out. Now we'll go on board and have a look at that, and it was an incredibly bold move considering he's off the rubber line, so he hasn't really got the same retardation. He's went to pass two cars, and that car on his right now is probably totally unaware of his presence. He had a little bit of overlap, but not a dominant overlap, and I think he was relying a little bit too heavily on that other driver getting out of the way. Meanwhile, up the front, Mr. Taylor in the Mercedes AMG has executed an outstanding first and second sector, followed closely by the two Porsche. So same car as me, so it's not a car deficit that's got me down in P14. And we might watch them go through Ascari, which is often quite a nice sight. So I move to trackside view here. The leader brings the field through Ascari chicane. Looking and sounding fantastic. But I think one car here has a nasty oversteer moment on throttle after the first part of the chicane, and there he is into the wall. We'll go on board and have a quick little look at that. But again, we'll see that was a single car incident. So here's the onboard for you. And a pretty lucky escape for the Ferrari. So we'll watch Adam Taylor in the Mercedes bring the field around the Parabolica to end lap one, and we'll see we've kind of got two groups of cars. There's quite a big gap between that group and this group, and I'm in the back couple of cars in that group there in that white plain liveried Porsche 911, and I might now indulge myself and do the story of my race. So we're picking it up here on lap 2, and the main thing for me at this stage of this race, which should be about 17 laps, is that I'm staying in touch with these guys in front. If I can stay in touch, I can get a little bit of a tow down the straights, and I can kind of be there to pick up the pieces if there's any scraps thrown off the table in terms of people making mistakes. And at Monza, it's pretty easy to happen at Monza. So one of the great things about RFactor 2 is the dynamics of the game. I'm sitting in 14th place there. And what I mean by that is the grip evolves, the track rubs in more, but in a 30-minute race over 17 laps with these cars, I'm starting with 65 litres of fuel. The fuel load changes, the tyre wear kicks in, and the tyre wear balance might change depending how you've set things up. And it is quite easy for somebody to suddenly find themselves not having the car under them they thought they had before, or being overly ambitious under brakes or with corner entry speed. So it's a case of hanging in there, trying to stay competitive, trying to stay close, and see if I can achieve something. But all the time behind me here, there's a very quick BMW lurking. Now, it was deceptive because I've been pretty quick in sector 1, but in sector 2 this BMW's gained significantly on me, and he's about to pull off a really cool move now into the Parabolica. I have a decent line, I'm on the rubbered line, I've braked quite well, nearly made it to the apex, but he's somehow managed to get that car right inside me, and I think it's set up for pretty high top speed. I'm looking for it there, and you can see now he's already alongside, and in clear air he's got a little bit of a speed advantage. Now cleverly, as soon as he's fully clear, he's pulled onto the rubbered line. I've only pulled to the inside as a bit of a bluff, hoping to maybe extract a bit of an error under brakes, but it doesn't happen. We'll go to a chase cam view now of the BMW and see just how he managed to destroy me into and out of Parabolica. But from my perspective, all is not lost. I'm still on the tail end of a pretty tightly packed bunch of cars. Good things can still happen. Just a couple of laps later now, lap 4 I think, and the same BMW has managed to pass this Corvette, who looked like he was trying to defend to the inside, but I'm not sure how that was going to work out, because once you're off the rubbered line there into the first variante, you're on a significant disadvantage about braking points. I've jumped ahead now about 4 laps. We're on lap 8, and I'm still on the tail end of the same Corvette and the same BMW. My car's feeling pretty good, and if anything I'm inching a little bit closer each lap to these guys, and they're in fact having a bit of a duel, and that's probably slowing them up slightly. They've both overcooked it. The BMW overcooked it a lot and ended up onto the gravel after Lesmo 2, and he's re-entered but continued over, and that's a little bit controversial. It's really a question of, well, had he regained racing speed? Was he competing again, or was that still track re-entry? Yeah, all in all, bit of a shame. I think I had a 15 km/h speed advantage as I raced up the right-hand side. And in my view, the BMW moved fairly dramatically from the left-hand side to the right-hand side, which might be allowable if you've had a bit of a bad exit, but I think if you've been off on the gravel and are re-entering the track, that you probably need to sort of look out for traffic rather than compete with traffic. But as it turned out, my pit stop of about 33 seconds was significantly shorter than that gentleman's pit stop. And I rejoined the track in about 16th and only about 10 seconds ahead, I thought maybe 20 seconds ahead of the race leader, who I would battle to stay in front of unsuccessfully. And here is my second last lap, and the leader catches me. I move aside and lift to let him through, and that unfortunately leaves me lapped. So I finish in P16, drop about 9.6% in driver rating, and that puts me back into bronze level as a driver. But I had fun. Thanks for watching.